to Acrisure Stadium here in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Coming up, two teams ready to square off. It's the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sideline, there's the Bengals head coach, Zach Taylor, hoping his guys took full advantage of the late season off week in the schedule, trying to heal up now for the stretch run. And on the other side, the Steelers head coach, his team looking for a spark, hoping their fans will give it to them here at home as we are set to go. Mike Tirico and Greg Olson with you, the All-Pro Chris Boswell with the honors. And off we go from the Steel City. And he'll bring it out to the 22-yard line. That's where the offense will take the field. So here come the Bengals. And, Greg, there is no denying the talent of this man. Joe Burrow led the league in passing yards and touchdowns a season ago.
I think if you asked every player around the league going into the bye week, it is critical that you come in off of the win. It just makes the coaches in better moods. It makes everybody in the building in a better mood. And certainly it makes your time away from the team a little bit easier. So they've had a long week thinking back to their loss the week before. And hopefully they were able to address a lot of those issues. And they certainly want a different result today.
And they'll whistle him down, but not before it picks up a first down after a gain of 7.
Gun.
A gain of 7.
Can.
First down.
They go play action for Burrow. Short one into the hands of Gesicki. And he'll be tackled up around the 45-yard line. 11 yards on the connection there. It's a Cincinnati first down.
First down, Cincinnati.
Here's Brown. Not much happening there. Just a short gain.
So everything this defense talks about, Mike, is creating negative plays. It's one of the best run defenses in football. Everything is about suffocating you at the line of scrimmage, make you work for everything you get.
That one taken in by T. Higgins. And he'll be hauled down at about the 35-yard line. Set to go now on first and 10.
Here we go.
First down, Bengals.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Try him again. Another one to Higgins. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line. Whole lot of extra muscle over there on the left side for this first and 10.
First down, Cincinnati.
Now Burrow on the bootleg. Gonna get that complete to Jamar Chase. He's going to be marked down at the 12-yard line. That's 11 yards again, 2 plays in a row. And another first down.
First down, Bengals.
Down at the 12. It's first and 10.
Here we go.
Gesicki, the man in motion. On first and 10, Burrow. That's going to be intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Juan Thornhill.
Intercepted. The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
I'm not going to sit here, Mike, and say there's ever a good time to throw a red zone interception, but in this case, it's the first half. You have the rest of the game to get yourself back down here in the red zone and make up for that miscue, because next time they get down here, they got to be a lot more careful when they decide to air it out.
Well, here come the Steelers, and that's the sight that looks odd, but people were looking to see after keeping us waiting all spring. Year 21 in the league for Aaron Rodgers, his first as the Steelers quarterback.
Nothing real fancy when you look back on last week's game, Mike. I mean, he had the 2 touchdown passes, of course, the 1 interception he'd love to have back. But for the most part, I thought he was really efficient. I thought he did a nice job operating the system. And And there's actually some more plays that he left out there. So I think he can build off a lot of that, try to improve in this one today.
They get 13 to begin the drive. It's a first down. So it'll be 1st and 10. They'll scrimmage at the 33. They'll run. This is Jalen Warren. And he'll work this forward to the 35. Demetrius Knight there on the tackle.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
Look him up on a 2nd down and 8. The shotgun, it's A-Rob. This one is caught by Scarani. And they bring him down, but not until he crosses midfield.
It's a gain of 16 yards.
16-yard pickup on that one. That's a Steeler first down. A run up the middle with Warren. Not much there, a yard or 2 down to the 48. The veteran Calais Campbell in there for the stop. It is 2nd and 9.
As the Bengals
From the gun, Rodgers. He'll get that to Jalen Warren. Get about 6 before he's taken down. 3rd and 2. Here we go.
3rd and 2.
We'll try and run it here with Warren. Moving this to the 36-yard line won't give them enough. Change the move. It's a first down.
I know it's early in this game, but in my mind, that's 4-down territory, and certainly now the coach doesn't have to make that decision. He keeps it on the ground on 3rd and short, gets a fresh set of downs, and now they got to see if they can come away with some points.
Rodgers on 1st down. That one down the field, but it is incomplete. DK Metcalf was the intended target. It's 2nd down. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. That's out wide to Warren. He'll get about 6 before he's taken down.
There's a lot of ways to get the ball in the hands of your running backs, and it's not always by just handing it to them. In this case, it's a simple check down, picks up a good gain, brings up 3rd down.
3rd and short yardage, it's Rodgers. And this is caught on the sideline. Going to have the first down. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not. They say the feet were out of bounds. Wow. Big, tight call there. For the moment, it'll be 4th down. To the air once more. It's Rodgers. That's over the middle and intercepted. Picked off by DJ Turner. And the Bengals will take over at their own 14-yard line. Now Brown. Yeah. He works free. Right side. He's to the 40. Inside the 20. And they won't catch him. He'll go all the way. 85 yards. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
And this is what good offenses in the NFL do, Mike. It's the ability to bounce back, even if the onset of the game doesn't go exactly according to plan. Everybody wants to take their opening possession and go down there and come away with a touchdown. But it's not always going to be perfect. You turn it over on possession 1. What are you going to do in response on possession 2? Well, we just got our answer, and they took it down for 6.
Evan McPherson now to kick the extra point. He knocks it through. And the Bengals will take a 7-0 lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. Johnson now to return. The Steelers offense ready for their second possession. They had that pick on the opening drive that led to a touchdown. So 7-0 the deficit as they get the ball back. 1st and 10. Operating from their own 23, they'll begin 1st and 10. Throwing, Rodgers. This one is complete to DK Metcalf. Nice gain here. He's going to be marked down at the 35-yard line.
And the Steelers first down.
A-Rod down to throw on first down. He finds his man. It's Skoranek. And he'll be out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. And it's a gain of 20 on the heels of another big play to begin this drive. On play action, Rodgers. The throw here is complete. And will move this ball way down into the red zone, inside the 20-yard line. That one good for 29.
It's a really critical conversion here because after not scoring on your opening drive, you just can't afford to follow that up with a 3 and out. So you find yourself down 7-0. Sustain this drive and at the very least, see if you can come away with some points.
And he'll manage to get this ahead for a pickup of 5. Going to get a stoppage here. We have an injured Bengal on the field. 2nd and 5. Now Rodgers gets it away quickly, and it's caught. This drive's going to continue. They bring him down, but not before he picks up 1st and goal for his team.
Not a whole lot complicated about this play, Mike. That was understanding where the holes of the defense were. Remember, in this zone coverage, you got to find green grass.
And he's into the end zone for a touchdown. There is a marker down, but I think this score is going to hold up.
Offside. Defense.
Chris Boswell on for the point after. He gets it to go, and the Steelers will tie things up at 7-7 here in the opening quarter.
Chris Boswell to kick off for Pittsburgh.
We're all tied, 7 apiece, and the kick's away. We'll go ahead and just seed the touchback here. This ball over the back line. It'll come out to the 35. There's Zach Taylor as his Bengals make their way back onto the field. All even here in this opening quarter. And the drive will begin with first down. Play action now. It's Burrow. Look wide. Get this one complete. And he's not going to get too far. Tackled after a gain of just a yard. So, from the 37, here's 2nd and 8. Working out of the gun, Burrow. That's going to be incomplete. And it'll leave just enough time for one final play in this opening quarter. We're going to try to pick this up on 3rd and 8. Now, Burrow. And that's incomplete. They couldn't connect. And that's how this first quarter will come to an end. On 4th down, they'll turn to Ryan Stonehouse here to punt. And he'll get a few yards on this return up past the 15-yard line. The Steelers offense and their running back, Jalen Warren, set to take over once more. As we take a look at the league leaders in receiving touchdowns, he tops all other NFL running backs to this point in the season. The master of play action, Rodgers. That one knocked away. And it's incomplete. complete. Jonnu Smith, the tight end, man he was looking for there. And that will lead to a second down. Here's Rodgers. He's got Freiermuth open on the left side. And he's got this up close to the 35-yard line. 15-yard pickup there. Good for a Steeler first down.
You know, Mike, these crossing routes, you just see them being used more and more often. And really, it's because it's good against any defense. And what it does is it creates separation. It allows some of your best players to catch the ball on the move. And that short throw oftentimes turns into a long run.
That's a gain of 16. This offense is humming. A first down.
And these are the explosive runs that open everything up. There's all this conversation about the value of the run game, but when you take a look at the best running teams, Mike, it's not necessarily how many yards they run for, it's how many big plays do they generate on the ground. And when you can generate big plays on the ground, it makes everything so much more difficult for the defense.
A throw left side, taken in by Wilson. And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
To throw, it's Rodgers. Metcalf reels it in on the right side. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line.
16 more yards.
That's a gain of 16. This offense is humming. A first down.
First and 10 at the 21-yard line.
On the handoff, this is Waller. Not much there, maybe a yard. Here's a second and 9. Once again, it's Warren. And not much there. He's back to the original line. No gain on that one. Trying to keep a drive alive, going to have to convert on 3rd and 9. Get this to his tight end, Freiermuth. And he's going to be taken down short of the marker. That is going to set up an interesting 4th down decision.
When you're willing to throw the ball short of the sticks on 3rd down, you know what that tells me, Mike? The decision to go for it on 4th down has already been made. If you're able to pick it up with yards after the catch, great. But if not, it's a 4th and short, and you give yourself a realistic shot of converting on this 4th down. Nothing a quarterback loves more, Mike, than being able to pick up a first down without being forced to push the ball downfield and force it past the line to gain. He settles for the underneath check down. He's confident that his receiver is going to pick up the rest after the catch.
That'll be caught by the running back, Warren. And he gets out wide. He'll go to the end zone. Jalen Warren. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. So that is 2 touchdowns in this game. And now 15 for the year. Boswell now for the extra point. The kick is good. And the Steelers will move out to a 14-7 lead. Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. This is fielded inside the 5. He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25. There's Zach Taylor as his Bengals make their way back onto the field. They trail now 14-7 as they'll come up for 1st and 10.
On 1, ready? 11 mighty. 11
On
mighty.
the ground, it's Brown. Able to make one man miss, but that's all. So now it's 2nd and 11. Burrow now. They'll set up the screen to Brown. He's brought down, and that pass is going to pick up 4 and bring up 3rd down.
All right, so anytime you're facing the blitz, the best thing you can do as an offense is just get the ball out of your hand. Get into the hands of receiver, run after catch. In this case, nice job by the defense, rallying to the ball. Modest gain.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Short one into the hands of Gesicki. That's his 3rd catch of this first half, and good enough for a 1st down.
Really nice job there, Mike. I mean, he sees the blitz coming and just gets the ball out of his hands. Understand where your outlets are. It results in an easy pitch and catch and move the chains.
Nice job finding the seam. Gain of about 9. Just a yard short of that 1st down. Just shy of midfield. Here's 2nd down. They'll run here with Brown. And he's going to fight forward. Didn't get a whole lot, but it's going to be enough to move the chains. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
They go play action for Burrow. Pass right side, and Higgins has the catch. Going to get a stoppage here. We have an injured Bengal on the field. The training staff going to look, and will step out for a moment. Ball placed at the 45 for 2nd and 5.
Here we go.
A carry here for Brown. He'll get him behind his blockers, get forward for a pickup of 3. Patrick Queen, the linebacker. They're on the tackle.
Here we go.
Burrow from out of the gun here on 3rd. The pass rush gets home, and he goes down. Patrick Queen. He gets there for the sack, setting up 4th down. Here's Ryan Stonehouse now. Will punt for the 2nd time, looking to pin the opponent back deep. 2 minutes remain here in this first half. We'll come back to the Steel City after this. Here's the punter now. He's on for the 2nd time to try to get something inside the 10. And no return forthcoming. It's a touchback and will come out to the 20-yard line. Here comes the Pittsburgh offense now, heading back onto the field. They lead by a touchdown as this drive begins with 1st and 10. From the gun, Rodgers. Nowhere to go. He's going to be taken down. Demetrius Knight working his way in to record the very first sack of his NFL career. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. That's going to be incomplete. Coverage very good there. Contact jarring the ball loose, and it's going to force 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's A-Rod. He's going to air one out for Metcalf, and that is incomplete.
I just don't like the look of this passing game, Mike. It just seems a bit erratic. On top of the 2 straight incompletions, they've already turned the ball over through the air. And truthfully, with how dangerous some of these throws have been, they're lucky it hasn't been even more.
They will get away from that one, and they're going to have tremendous field position. This ball hits and goes out of bounds. Heading out now, the Cincinnati offense. They're going to get set to take over once more. They can get back into this quickly now. Very short field ahead. It is 1st and 10. Back to throw, Burrow.
The drag route is certainly not the most complicated route on the route tree, but a really nice job there using the scheme to create separation. He did a really nice job there working across the middle of the field as he made himself open.
2nd down, Burrow. That is part of the 3. And he's in. Mike Gesicki. Touchdown, Bengals. his 4th TD grab of the season. McPherson, good on the extra point. And the Bengals will tie things up. We are all even at 14. They didn't leave much time on the clock to put together a drive here at the end of the first half. And the kickoff's coming their way. Johnson now to return. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. Steelers offense going to get it one final time in this first half. They'll work in a tie game here in the second quarter and get started with 1st and 10. Rodgers. Moving left, and he'll give himself up here, but it's a gain of 5 on 1st down. They'll break the huddle. It's 2nd and 5. Rodgers. Oh, a huge mistake late in the half. It is intercepted. And he is going to bring this one back. A DB's dream. A pick 6 for touchdown. On is McPherson for the extra point. And look at this. The extra point is blocked. So, final seconds of this first half. Looks like they'll take a lead into the locker room as the kick's away. The return team going to let that one go. It'll go through the end zone. It's a touchback. From the 35, it's 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers. That's going to wind up incomplete. Not much time remaining. Time for one more snap here in this first half. Now a 2nd down throw from Rodgers. He's going to air one out for Metcalf. That's going to be incomplete. They took a shot on the final play. Prayer not answered. And that is how this first half will come.
Our tour around the NFL starts now. At Mile High, the Broncos at home to take on the reigning AFC champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's the second-year quarterback, Bo Nix. He's going to find his man, and he did plenty of that. One of 5 touchdown passes on the afternoon. The Broncos run their mark to 8-3 as they come away with the victory. Up next, another intriguing matchup. And it's the first-round draft pick, J.J. McCarthy. A 4-yard touchdown pass in the box score. The Vikings get a much-needed win as they move back to 500 at 5-5. Lastly, let's squeeze in one more. And this is Chris Godwin. He was a tough man to pin down all game long. This, one of his 2 touchdown catches. The Buccaneers win their 2nd straight as they get the victory here. A final look now at the rest of the scores from week number 11, with Indianapolis and New Orleans enjoying the week off. Meanwhile, in our game, both teams have been able to move the ball effectively. It might be a question of which defense can make a stand in the second half. As we get you back out to the second half and rejoin Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Both teams ready to get back at it as we get back underway here on EA Sports. Johnson now to return. And a decent return there. He'll get this up. the 30. The Steelers' offense and their running back, Jalen Warren, set to take over once more. He had the touchdown reception earlier, and as we show you the NFL leaders in that category for running backs, there he is, right among the best in the league. Now it's a bootleg with Rodgers. Oh, he's going to be bottled up and taken down. They got him. The NFL sack leader from a year ago, Trey Hendrickson. He gets in for the sack. It took a while, but that is his first on the year. I had a defender draped all over him. Incomplete. Good work to body him up and set up a third down.
Third down and 20.
Blue 58. Blue 58.
Looking to throw. It's Rodgers. That's complete. Calvin Austin. He's going to be brought down very close to that line to gain. They're going to mark him just a bit short. And now it's fourth down. It's the quarterback with the sneak. And he's going to have the Steelers first down. As they manage to convert, that'll keep this drive alive.
First down. First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Play fake. It's Rodgers. This one is caught by Skura. And he's down inside the 40-yard line.
Well, he had such a great first half throwing the football. There's no reason to think, Mike, coming out here for the start of the third, that anything's going to change. He's picked up right where he left off, and the numbers are indicative of just how well he's played.
They'll run straight ahead with Warren. And they are finally going to get him down at the Bengals' 11-yard line. That one good for 26 yards.
Big hole up the middle. The interior of this offensive line did a great job clearing some space. The back saw it quick, and he hit it. Next thing you know, he was in the secondary for a big pickup.
Still get a first down at the 1. First and 10, they go from the 11. And he's into the end zone yet again. Jalen Warren, touchdown Steelers. That's his third touchdown of the game. It adds up to 16 now on the season. And make it 3 touchdowns now. Remember, he caught the one earlier. That his second rushing touchdown of the game.
And, Mike, this is what every offense is searching for out of the running back position. Can you impact the game equally on the ground as you can through the air? And that's exactly what this guy has done so far today.
On for the extra point is Boswell. He's got it. And the Steelers have taken the lead by a point here in the third.
Bengals 20.
Boswell now following the touchdown. Back out to kick this one off. From the 6, here comes a return. And he'll work this one past the 25 to right about the 28-yard line. There's Zach Taylor as his Bengals make their way back onto the field. The deficit is 1 as they'll search now for that go-ahead score.
Here we go.
Drive will start on the ground. And that one shut down pretty quickly. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And that's it.
And up until this point, this is not something that we've seen a lot of. His running backs had a really nice day. So, in this case, this rep goes to the defense.
Now a second down throw for Burrow. Passing right side, and Chase has it. And they will bring him down on the other side of midfield. That pickup good for 29 yards. First First and 10.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
11 mighty.
Off the play fake. Here's Burrow. Right back to Chase. He's got it again. And they'll take this down inside the 35. They go right back to him. This catch good for 11 and a first down.
Here we go.
Gesicki, the man in motion. For a ball. And he'll push his way ahead for a gain of 2. With Deshaun Elliott on the tackle. Ball on the 30 now. Here's second and 7. Working out of the gun, Burrow. And he's got about 5 on this one before he's out of bounds. And they're set up a little bit better for third down.
Gun.
Try to pick this one up on the ground. And he'll have it. He'll have it at the 16-yard line. First down picked up as the running game comes through.
That's another Bengals first down. An 8-yard pickup. First down.
11.
Right back to him on first down. This time they're ready for it. Room to run the last snap. Not this one. They stop him for no gain.
Here we go.
Gesicki, the man in motion. Burrow here on second down. Pass brought in by Chark. And they'll work this close to a first down, maybe just a tad short. It's going to be third. They need 1. They'll go with the sneak. Trying to find any seam he can, but the push too strong in the middle. He didn't get there. It's fourth down. So instead of going for the first down, in comes the field goal unit. Bit of a surprise here. This about as short as you can get. McPherson's kick is good. And the Bengals will take the lead here in the third quarter. The kickoff team is out on the field. And we're back to it as the kick's away. They're trying to pin him deep. They'll take this from the 3. They'll get this up past the 20. And that's where they'll set up shop. The Steelers offense ready to get back to work. They trail by 2. And we'll start this drive with first and 10. They'll start this on the ground with Warren. And it'll bring this to about the 25. Eric Carter that time there to make the play.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up
Second and 7. Here's Rodgers. That's out wide to Warren. And they'll work this close to a first down, maybe just a tad short.
A bit of a quick hitter here, and what you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot, but they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short gain.
319. Over.
On third down, they go with Warren. And he's not going to get the first down. They met him, brought him down in the backfield on third and short.
So it's a pretty manageable third down, so they really have the option to run or pass, so they decide to keep the ball on the ground, which I don't mind as long as you've made the decision already that you're willing to use fourth down to pick up the rest of the yards. If not, I think that's a big mistake. But you can see the entire sideline and, frankly, the entire fan base kind of holding their breath. That decision on your own side of midfield to go for it on fourth down, had they not gotten it, it's a tough position to put your defense in, but that's a conversation for another day. The offense is going to stay on the field after the conversion, and now they got to see, can they take advantage of that aggressive play call and finish this drive with points?
And he's down on the other side of midfield. Mark him at the 48-yard line. They'll get 19 out of that play. That's a Steeler first down. Now Rodgers. This one batted away. It's incomplete.
And At this stage of the game, it's both teams that are really seeing who can make the big play to swing the game in their favor, and this time it's the defense. He's able to get his hands on it. Mike, I think they're lucky he wasn't able to get both hands on it because it could have been even a bigger play.
Second down, Rodgers. Here's a screen set up for Warren. And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line. So we are through 3. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Ball rests at the 37. It's 1st and 10.
158. Hey, 88.
Fourth quarter begins on the ground. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line. Give him 12 on that one. They are on the mark. Another first down.
First and 10 at the 20.
Rodgers to throw. He finds his man. It's Skoranek. And no chance to turn and go. That one good for just a couple.
Second and 7 at the Bengals 22-yard line.
From the 22 now, here's second down and 7.
319.
Throwing, Rodgers. Here's a shot toward the end zone. And that ball led him too far, maybe too wide. Out of bounds, incomplete. Big play coming up. This is 3rd down. Got his man at the 6. And he's very close to a touchdown. They mark him just shy of the goal line. They've got it. It'll be 1st and goal after a pickup of 21.
And this is a tricky part of the game for any defense. You find yourself protecting a late lead, and the age-old question is, do you remain aggressive? Do you try to just keep the ball from being thrown over your head and make everything be tackled and played in front of you? That's what every defensive coordinator struggles with, so they can't get too soft here as they try to hold on to this lead here late.
To throw, it's Rodgers. To the goal line and in. Fire move. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. That's the 5th touchdown for him on the year. What a game this has been. Back and forth we go, and that 4th quarter score changes the lead one more time.
And we've seen the lead go back and forth, Mike, and now the question is, can they get a stop? Can they find a way defensively to hang on to this lead and get themselves this big win?
Boswell now for the extra point. His kick is good. And the Steelers will up the lead to 5. So now playing with the lead after that 4th quarter touchdown. Time to kick it back the other way. This returnable from the 4. They get across the 20, mark them at the 22-yard line. There's Zach Taylor as his Bengals make their way back onto the field. They'll try to establish some tempo as they start this one with 1st and 10.
Here we go.
From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Pass right side, and Higgins has the catch. Terrific starter there. Gain of 15 and a 1st down. Line of scrimmage is the 37-yard line for 1st and 10.
11.
Now a give up the middle, and he'll get nothing here. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
We've seen this back have his way with this defense all game long, Mike. He's up over 100 yards for the game, but this time the defense said, we've had enough. They sold out to stop him. They hold him to no gain.
We'll get about 6 before he's taken down.
They were able to complete this pass, but how often do we see these running backs run these angle routes and they catch it in stride and run a hole through the defense? So, the defense gave up some yards here, but it could have been a lot worse.
Now a deep ball looking for Brown. And he will go all the way. Chase Brown. Touchdown, Cincinnati. That is second touchdown of the game. This one number 7 on the year.
Well, it seems this game is kind of getting to the point, Mike, where it's defense optional. I mean, both these teams are really just having their way with their opponent. They're going up and down the field, and after this long touchdown, yes, this is great if you're a fantasy player, but it's not so great if you're a defensive coordinator.
So a big play coming up for the Bengals, as they will indeed try to tack on 2. They bring Chase in motion. Here's Burrow. And that's going to be incomplete, but hold on. There is a flag down. Let's see what we've got. So let's try this again. They come to the line to go for 2.
Here we go. Hey, Can.
Now, Burrow. Nowhere to go. He is taken down.
So they decide to put the ball in the air, which I don't mind on this 2-point try, but execution was just a little bit off, and it's not going to work out in their favor this time around.
Johnson now to return. Across the 20, they'll mark him down before the 25-yard line. That's where the offense will take over. The Steelers' offense ready to come back out for this next possession. They'll begin with 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Warren to start the drive. And he's going to be taken down on the other side of the 50-yard line. A big one here in the 4th quarter. 35 yards.
Well, that's how you get a drive started. A big play here in the run game, and you have to imagine this is something we're going to continue to see. Success early in the drive typically results in success later in the drive.
They'll stay on the ground with Warren. And that'll be good for about a half dozen. It'll set up 2nd down.
At this point, we're going to need 2 hands to count for how many yards he's averaged in this one, Mike. But unfortunately, it just hasn't been enough to overcome the deficit here at this stage of the game.
Here's a handoff to Warren. Good blocking to the 15. And it's a big run down to the 10-yard line. It picks up 25 yards and gives them a golden opportunity. It's 1st and goal. So the field goal here gets you the late lead. You got to think you want 6 when you have it 1st down and goal. And a short pickup down inside the 10.
It's a gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. He pulls it in around the 5. That's going to move him closer, but you're going to need to come up with something here. Here comes 3rd and goal. Warren, and he's not going to get in. Tackled at the
give any indication to the offense that he was coming, and he's able to get through that hole and take the ball carrier down for a loss.
A 19-yard attempt.
And this one, right down the middle. It's good. They move out front and take the lead here in the fourth quarter.
And this has been such a tight game, but that's a big one right there. I mean, you need a kicker with confidence. Well, this guy, he fits the bill. He steps up and knocks it through to give his guys a lead here in the fourth quarter.
Good return here. Brings it up to the 33-yard line. The Bengals offense ready to see what they can do. They'll do so with 1st and 10. Here's Brown, and he's going to be stuck well behind the line of scrimmage. A play going absolutely nowhere.
Well, they try to get the run game started here early on this drive, Mike, and they're just going to have to do a better job up front. There's really nowhere for this ball carrier to go. You never want to lose yards on 1st down, but that's exactly the case here.
They'll come up now for 2nd down.
Here we go.
Play action now. It's Burrow. A throw on the move is caught. Well, that helps. It's going to be a much more manageable 3rd down, getting some good yardage on that 2nd down play. 2 minutes remain in the fourth quarter. We'll come back and finish this one off after this. Towels waving, Steeler fans on their feet. It's 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. He's got a receiver. It's Chase. And he's down inside the 40-yard line. Not just the 1st down, but reception number 70 on the season. Plenty of time, all 3 timeouts left. It's 1st and 10. That is caught by Chark. And they're going to be set up in the red zone. They got it inside the 15. Here's 1st and 10. He takes off. And he'll work forward for about 4. It's 2nd down.
4 yards on the pickup.
They go play action for Burrow. This one caught at the 4. And he'll take it on in. Mike Gesicki. Touchdown, Bengals. His 2nd TD of the game, and this one gives his team the lead. McPherson, good on the extra point. And the Bengals will up the lead to 5.
Steelers 31.
So now playing with the lead after that fourth quarter touchdown. Time to kick it back the other way. Johnson now to return. He'll get this up to the 28-yard line. Nice place for the drive to start. Steelers offense and their running back, Jaylen Warren, set to take over once more. And with half the season gone by, time to take a look at some of the candidates in this early date to bring home the award for the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year. First down for Aaron. He's going to air one out for Metcalf. And that could be the dagger. It's intercepted. It is picked off by the rookie safety. And he'll be taken down, and there is a flag on the play. This is going to be a huge call. Now Brown. A gain of 4 as he's taken down.
And he has been a handful to deal with throughout this entire contest, Mike. And they came into the game saying, we want to impose our will on the defense, and that's exactly what they've been able to do.
Open space to the 35. And they are going to add 6 more here at the end. Stay tuned for the coach's handshake. It might not be the friendliest. That late touchdown extends the margin of victory here on the game's final play.
Yeah, Mike, I'm not sure how popular this move is going to be on the other sideline. And listen, I understand in the huddle sometimes kind of players take it upon themselves to do things like this, but the call there has to be take a knee, move on, shake hands, and go to the locker room. But not in this case.
So this one, a win for the visiting Bengals. And it is a season sweep for them. They defeat their division rivals for the 2nd time this year. So that'll just about do it for Greg Olson and our entire team. I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long, everyone.